Homemade mixed berry jam is super fast, simple, and easy to make. It is absolutely excellent because you can customize it to your own personal liking, makes really great gifts, but most of all, what I like about it is that you can can it and save it and add it to your long-term food storage. Back starting in 2020, there was a food shortage, and our family was not as prepared as we could have been, and there has been rumors in 2024 that that food shortage could happen again. I don't say that to scare you guys because we are not to fear, but at the same time, we should have wisdom and plan and prepare ahead to ensure our family security. As a homemaker, I feel that it is my duty to store food that will last us for up to a year, and that is what I'm going to be doing within the next few months. I have so many tips and tricks to share with you guys, so I definitely want you guys to join along with me in doing this challenge. Please make sure to subscribe, you don't want to miss out. You'll want to start out with some berries of your choice. Now, I'm using the triple berry blend from Costco, and I like to get the frozen ones. These are organic, and so I just really like these ones. But you can use any berries of your choice, and they can be fresh or frozen. So I'm going to pour out here about half of the bag. It's a little bit over 4 cups, and I'm going to put in some lemon. Now your jam will not taste like lemon, don't worry about that. And this lemon is like very overripe, so I try to zest it a bit. The zest of it tastes really good in it, but being that it was overripe, it didn't really zest very well, but that's okay. This one is very juicy, so I put in a whole lot of juice of it from half of the lemon. You can also use zest and juice from a lime, an orange. The cool thing about the jam is that you can customize it to your own liking, play with it, and try different ways to make it. It turns out really good, and it's a very forgiving recipe. So I recommend just making a straightforward recipe, and then after you get a little bit more comfortable with it, you can make it however you want. Now, as for the sugar, I don't like to put a whole lot of sugar, and I actually ended up putting a lot more in than I usually do. Usually I put in like half of a cup to 3/4 cup per 4 cups of berries. But if you look at a normal regular recipe on the internet, it'll say 2 cups of berries per 1 cup of sugar. As for me, that is a bit too sweet, but I mean, by all means, make it however you like, however you feel comfortable with doing. You could even choose not to put sugar if that's what you want to do as well. Now, I have the stove on about a medium. It is on 5 for my stove, and I am just starting to mash it up. They get hot fairly quickly, so I just mash it on in little by little. Now, to thicken it, I am going to put a 1/4 cup of water along with about 1.5 tablespoons of cornstarch. Now, the cornstarch does not change the flavor profile of it at all. It doesn't change the color as it is translucent, but you can omit it. You don't have to put it. If you go by the recipe, like the regular recipes that you see normally on the internet, you'll see 2 cups of berries per 1 cup of sugar. Now, when you have that amount ratio, you can simmer it for 25 to 30 minutes, and it will simmer down and it will thicken up. But being that I don't like to put that much sugar, it's just too sweet for me, I just go ahead and put some cornstarch in it, and that works just great for me. You could also use pectin, arrowroot powder. You could even use flour, which I don't really recommend because it will change the color, but the color is not what matters so much. It will change the flavor a bit. But if that's all you have, by all means, do what you can, do with what you have. So I'm just smashing it down little by little. As you can see, it's smashing down just absolutely beautifully. And this masher, I got it from Amazon. It works really great for me for all of my non-stick pots and pans, and I will link it down below if you are looking for a masher. But if you have a masher, just use that, and it'll mash on down a lot more easily as it starts to simmer and get warmer. Now, I wanted it to simmer a little bit quicker because it was taking in a little bit of time, so I turned it up a little bit, and you can see it starting to perk up a little bit. Once it does get to that simmering point, I turn it down a bit so I don't have it going on too high of a simmer. You'll want to be attentive to your jam and will want to stay near it, mashing it, and also stirring it, and just kind of being attentive to it. Now, if you are wanting more of a preserved consistency, then you will leave in thicker, bigger chunks of fruit and even whole pieces of fruit if you're wanting to. But I like the more jam consistency, so it has just pieces of fruit, but not really large pieces of fruit. And then of course, if you're wanting a jelly, then you would strain out the fruit and it would not have the pieces of fruit in it. Another reason why I really like to make my own jam is that it is very cost effective. Now you'll see me further up in the video filling up jars, and those same jars cost me only for 2 of them $10. For that same price, I can make 5 jars. So with that price difference, not only is it custom, delicious, but it is very cost effective. Now for the cornstarch, putting in the water, you want to make sure that the water is either room temperature or cold water, and mix in your cornstarch and stir it on in and make sure that it is a nice incorporated slurry type of a mixture, and you will pour it on into your recipe. Now as you pour it in, you will stir and stir and just make sure that it's evenly incorporated, and make sure that the stove is not too hot. You will want to turn it down. I have turned it down, but it's still a little bit hot here, so I'm just stirring it on in. You will see that it'll thicken up fairly quickly. I just have it on the stove for probably about 5 to 7 minutes longer after I put in the cornstarch, and then I will be removing it from the heat. All in all, this recipe takes about 20 minutes to make. But like I said, if you're not wanting to put in the cornstarch or any other type of a thickening agent for your jam, you can just do the ratio of 2 cups of berries per 1 cup of sugar, and that'll thicken up within about 25 to 30 minutes of simmering and stirring it consistently. So this is the consistency that I like. As you see, there's still a lot of big chunks in it, and it's just absolutely perfect for me. I just absolutely love making this jam. It's so delicious and it's very easy to make. It seems like it would be hard, but it's actually not. It's very simple, straightforward, and is quick and easy. So when you dip in a spoon, you can check it by pulling the spoon on out, and if the jam still sticks to the spoon, then it is ready. Now I have already sanitized my glass jars. I'm using the Bon Maman, I believe that's how you pronounce it, and you can tell if the jar is good for canning if it has the little button on it that you can press, and also has the ribbed sides on the jar where you can actually turn it and the jar can tighten. That is a good jar that you can use for any type of canning. It doesn't have to be a mason jar. And to sterilize them, you will want to boil your jars for 5 minutes and put the lids in hot water, which I have already done. So I'm just going ahead and filling up my jars, and then I'm going to be showing you guys here in a bit how to water bathe them, so this way it'll seal them completely and you can store them for long-term storage. You can apply this water bath method to absolutely anything. There is some different rules and exceptions on how you have to do certain foods due to the acidic level, but that is for a later video. I also am here showing you guys the homemade bread that I had made. It's super fast and easy. It's so delicious. I'm going to be showing you how to do that in a future video, so make sure that you stay tuned and watch out for that video. Now before you put it in the water bath, you will seal the lid, but you do not want to seal it on tight. You just want to close it and make sure that it's secure but not tight, and then you put it on in the water. Now the one that wasn't completely full, it was kind of bobbling around a little bit, so I'm just going to stick something on it and put it on down in the water. And the only reason why I'm water bathing this one is so I could show you guys the end result as to the pop that you will hear, to show that it has been sealed up. So you will want to put it in the hot water, or I should say the boiling water, for 10 minutes. And after the 10 minutes, then you go ahead and remove them and just put them on a surface and let them cool. As they start to cool, you will hear a pop, and the pop sound will show that they have already completely sealed and are ready to be stored. And this is how easy it is. It is done. It is just absolutely awesome, delicious. If you have not made jam, I definitely highly recommend you trying it, just to have that extra skill that you can have in your toolbox of skills. And just learning how to make things homemade is a really important skill that many times has been lost. A lot of us, even with me up until most recently, have leaned on things that are already prepared for me, prepared for our family, and just easy and ready to grab and use. But I have been on a journey as of recently, learning how to make things homemade, and I've been making my homemade bread, my butter. If you haven't seen my video as to how to make butter, it is so delicious, easy, fast, super quick and easy to make, and it is absolutely excellent for also storing to add to your long-term food storage. So if you haven't seen that video, make sure you check it out after this one. So with fresh homemade bread and delicious homemade jam, and soon I'm gonna be making some homemade peanut butter or almond butter, some type of a nut butter. I have not done that yet, but that is on my bucket list of things to do. I am just very excited and happy to have done this. As I have mentioned in the beginning of the video, I am on a journey right now to store up food for up to a year of long-term food storage for my family. I am excited to do this and have been learning a lot and researching on how to do that. So I would absolutely love for you guys to join me in on that journey, all to ensure our families are secure and have the necessities that we need. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much, and God bless.